points for everything she's done. But generally the theme behind it is that you have to be nice to Gráinne to score points. So all the bridesmaids have been doing particularly well, especially during the week. I think Noreen has been out in front, up as far as yesterday afternoon anyway. Generally myself and Eamon have been scoring negative points simply by just being there. This was compounded yesterday afternoon when Gráinne and Elle were sitting in the church at 4 o'clock waiting for the rehearsal, and myself and Eamon were somewhere else, but not quite there. So who do you think Gráinne would have to fall to in those circumstances to try and console her but her bridesmaids? But unfortunately, who was sitting in the back of myself and Eamon's car but Noreen and Anne eating 2 ice creams? Not a bother in the world on them. They lost a lot of points for that anyway. But the hero of the day was Gerard. When all else had failed, the priest was about to go, there was still no sign of Eamon. Who stood up to play but Gerard? He went through the whole ceremony and told us all about it when we arrived an hour later. So if we missed any steps today, it's because Gerard didn't relay the full idea to us. I must say the bridesmaids are doing a good bit better today. And I'll also say that they're just looking fantastic. I think you'd agree. So needless to say, one of my important tasks today was to get Eamon to the church in time. So Eamon trusted me with his car keys this morning, and I asked him at that stage, had he any special requests? And he had but one. Do you have the number for QuinDirect? I need to renew my motor insurance policy. So as we drove down the road to the church, car not insured, driver recently wrote off their own car, Eamon not a bother on the word on him, off to get married, and I'm on the phone to QuinDirect, checking the details of his policy. We didn't quite get round to renewing his NCT cert, but I think he's got the number with him and he's going to do it later when he gets back to the room. I think that tells a lot about Eamon. He's a very relaxed type of character. At least he was until an hour before the speeches anyway. I think I was unnerving him though. The first time I met Eamon was in September 2000 when we both enrolled in the actuarial course in DCU. And there was a few of us country lads who formed a bit of an alliance. Myself, Eamon, Peter Ryan, Eamon Power, and Messi Mossy O'Connell. Eamon was just back from Sydney at the time, where he'd been out at the Olympics watching All Of Complete in the race walking event. So obviously, the first thing that we took notice about Eamon was his posture. We all thought he'd be a fine Olympic-style athlete. His movements came under close scrutiny, I must say. But the first thing I noticed about him was that he was very bouncy on his feet. He loved walking everywhere and walking fast. He didn't care if you couldn't keep up with him. But he really came into his own when he got to a flight of stairs. He wouldn't be unknown to take a flight of stairs in 2 or 3 short hops and skips. And I think the difference between Eamon and his classmates became even more apparent on Thursday or Friday mornings when the rest of us were dragging ourselves up by the banister. Eamon was still going full gusto, 2 hops and straight to the top. It wasn't long till we put the nickname Skippy on him, and it has stuck to this day. The other thing that you notice about Eamon was that he was always a very diligent student. His family put this down to a jumper he had when he was a child that had a lot of numbers on it. Eamon spent days adding and subtracting these numbers, coming up with all different kinds of combinations, but it certainly paid off. He always kept his notes in a meticulous condition. He was a very popular student, especially when it came to cramming season, when a photocopied set of Eamon's notes were like gold dust for an ill-prepared student. I think Messi Mossi can definitely vouch for that. It all paid off for him in third year when he won the Hamilton Prize for Mathematics in DCU and became known as Mr. Hamilton for a number of weeks. There were a number of different sports and social clubs that you were encouraged to join as part of your studies in DCU. A few of us would have joined the rugby club or the soccer club or the GA club or any other kind of sporting club. But Eamon, following in Matt's footsteps, decided he was going to join the Young Fianna Fáil club. And he was soon appointed the position of secretary to the club. Quite a distinguished position in such a club, the co-signature of the checkbooks. He must have signed plenty of checkbooks that year because he got a nomination for Fresher of the Year after the end of the year. Eamon's hero of the day was the one and only Bertie O'Hearn. It was a long time ago. The excitement reached fever pitch when Bertie came to DCU as a guest of Young Fianna Fáil. Eamon had been bigging up his visit for weeks and weeks, and he arrived into college the morning of Bertie's visit with an extra hop in his step. To cap things off, RTE were covering the whole event. So as we all sat down to watch the 6-1 news that evening, we saw Bertie be met at the door by Eamon, big handshake and an ear-to-ear grin on his face. I'm not sure if Bertie gave him any advice that day, but Eamon has certainly followed some of his traits, career-wise. He definitely knows when is a good time to get out.